how important was the Joe Rogan cosign for you and your podcast? Did you feel that it changed your career at all, or
yeah, absolutely, man. For sure. People make fun of me because I'm so unapologetic about that reality. I just think it's ridiculous. We all have mentors, and the lineage of Buddhism I'm in, you celebrate that. That's not a thing you try to imagine didn't happen. You're like, our teachers are so important. And Rogan, he was taking me on the road before I should have been on stage. He thought I was doing a satanic puppet act, and he thought it was funny.
Is that what it was? I was going to ask you, what was like the thing that got him? A satanic puppet act?
Man, I was closing with a satanic, horrible, monstrous puppet named Little Hobo. This like terrible. It was the embodiment of all the worst things I could imagine in the world. And this is still Fear Factor day. So like Rogan's getting people, people who don't know about stand up who are just like, I want to go see the Fear Factor guy tell jokes. And suddenly, right before that guy comes out, there's this weirdo on stage, his eyes rolling backwards with like a puppet that's like yelling like, "Hail Satan! Hail Satan!" And he thought it was funny. They didn't, but he did. Like that's what he thought was funny.
That's the beauty of Joe, right? Is like he just does what he does. He talks to who he wants to talk to. His topics are what he wants to talk about. And like if the audience doesn't like it, fuck off. And it turns out that like 100 bajillion people do like it. So, he figured it out that way. That's incredible though. I mean, I feel like so many people want that cosign or just even want to talk to him and be invited on or whatever. So to end up being one of his guys is, and as far as podcasting is concerned, that's the ultimate, right? That's like the top of the mountain.
It's bizarre because it wasn't. I mean, I was the talent coordinator at the Comedy Store, and he was just calling, and we get in these conversations on the phone that are identical to what we talk about now on the podcast. Like he would call, he was probably stoned. I was probably stoned. And then we just start talking about like Terrence McKenna and float tanks on the phone. We weren't recording it. I don't think we even knew what a podcast was at the time. And then, then now all of a sudden he's like interviewing Bernie Sanders. That was one of the weirdest moments for me. I'm like on YouTube, it's Rogan and Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Talk about surreal, man. Like this is like he's a friend. And I'm not saying surreal, like that guy shouldn't be talking to Bernie Sanders, but just realizing like, holy shit, a friend of mine has gotten to a point in his career where he's sitting down with presidential candidates, where he's smoking weed with our generation's, like the founder of Tesla.
Yeah.
And that is a wild testament to what can happen to anybody these days, and I don't mean anybody like he's an anybody. I mean, all you've got is who you are. And if you start questioning that, then you're fucked. And I think someone like Rogan, that's what he puts out there is like, the more you tune in with yourself, the more you can expect some form of success, I would say.
If you had to pinpoint one thing, and maybe you just did it right there, but when you try to like think of why Rogan is as successful as he is, what would you think is like the one trait of his as a podcaster that separates him? Because it's like, I've always said it's like if I wanted to pick up a basketball and play like LeBron James, like cannot do it, physically impossible. We all can grab a microphone and talk. We all can have a conversation, but yet he does it on like a LeBron James level where it's like, what is the X factor? What is the difference in a good podcaster, a bad podcaster, an immortal podcaster? Because it is just talking, right? So what is it?
Well, listening. Y'all are listening to me. I can feel it. Like you're good at listening. You've opened up some conduit here and I can feel it. And because you've opened it up, it's making me open up to you. And in that openness, it produces these kinds of moments that I consider to be great moments when I'm doing a podcast. And you ask great questions. So I don't think there is a simple answer to your question, but from observing Joe, one thing that that seems anomalous in him compared to other people I know is he's got like Terminator level discipline. Like you know what I mean? Like when he decides to learn how to do something, he doesn't he commits fully to it in a way that maybe that like I think some people would be like put off by it, in the sense that like there isn't that if he I've seen him like pick stuff up like archery.
Yeah.
You know, it starts with like an interest in it, and then all of a sudden he's out in the middle of like the Ozarks or some shit, taking down bears or whatever, elk,
right,
you know? But that's the difference between him and me and most people I know. Like I've got a bow like sadly hanging outside near a tree.
We got a ukulele, right, John? You got a ukulele. We all got some shit.
Wait, hold on.
You got there it is. There you go.
Hey, this is a mandolin close to you. I can't play it. This is what happens when you get stoned and go to Guitar Center. But if you know, it kind of sounds like Led Zeppelin, but like if Rogan had like, but in some like other universe decided he wanted to learn the mandolin, he would now be a gypsy or something.
He would have made one. He would have, like fictioned himself and then started playing his own version of it. He'd make his own.
Yeah, and he naturally would be connected to like these, like, I don't know, Norse mandolin crafters. He'd have some mandolin that was like made out of like the skulls of like saints or something like that.
So weird.
The hair of Valkyries. That's the difference between him and me, you know. And I'll tell you, like, one thing I learned early on is like, if you really don't want to, I just don't compare yourself to Rogan.
Yeah.
Because that's a good way to hurt yourself. It's like a lot of people look at him and they're like, don't do, like, it's, I don't know, maybe he's an alien or something, who knows, but he's got discipline. That would be the short answer that I made really long, is the guy's super disciplined. And to me, there's relief in that, in the sense that means that if you really want something, all you got to do is like become a machine.
Yeah. There's relief, but there's not. I mean, that also is like, it removes all excuses. It's like, you can do it. Just be like, fuck, go read the books, study this, go out into the mountains and learn how to do it. So, it's not like, you can't just be like, well, Joe can do it, I can't do it. It's like, well, if you fucking tried harder, maybe you could.
Well, yeah, and maybe, and also, but if you can't, that's cool too. Like I've noticed, like, failure, when you're fully pursuing something, failure has a sacred quality to it. When you're like really going for something, and you've done literally everything you can, and you've done everything you can, and you still fail in that regard. I don't even know if that's failure anymore. That's just part of the process.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
there's probably comics, right? Like,
what's that?
I think comics have that as well. Comics will bomb, and that's part of the process. And the average human, if they got up on stage and bombed in front of a bajillion people, they'd hide in their basement forever, So I think failure for people who are comics is also part of, the fabric of who they are.
Once you do something that, like you're saying, like if you do it 100%, and there aren't a ton of things in my life I've done 100%, but the ones I have and they didn't all work, I'm just like, well, that was good. Even if people hated it, I'm like, I know that was everything of me. That was good. I don't care if it got 2 retweets. I don't care if people said that story sucks. I don't care. That was good. That was the best I could do, and you can handle that. It's easier to be like, it's not even a failure. It's like, you don't think of yourself as a failure. He's like, I was good. I nailed that. I know I did.